What was in the skies of Jerusalem? And why did it sound like one of the most treasured sites in Christianity?
There's a new data study that's making proofs we're not alone in the universe. UFO, in the form of a bright light, is descending over the dome of the rock of Jerusalem.
Alright. Oh, welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. We are live on Tuesday, April 5th, 2022. A red letter date in UFO history for not only the Cousins brothers, third phase of moon, Goof On, and everybody else involved with the Bub Top Secrets release. Congratulations to third phase of moon, the Cousins brothers, Dr. Greer, and everybody else who was in that movie. People right behind me. Michael Schratt, John D'Souza, Greer, James Goodall, and Billy Carson. And don't get on me for putting Billy Carson where you can't see him. You can't see Greer either. That's funny stuff. Yep, finally, it's here. The movie's finally here. I can't believe it. It seems like yesteryear when the boys came up with the idea for Countdown to Disclosure. It was about a year ago, wasn't it? Man, I know I said Countdown to Disclosure because that's what kicked off basically what is the sequel here, Above Top Secret. And we'll go over that. I've got 3 or 4 new clips to show you. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those nights. Some other things to talk about. Doesn't really matter. It's all about Above Top Secret pretty much tonight. So I'll play these clips and we'll talk about them. I'll talk about them, but maybe we'll have, maybe we'll open up the invite and get some of yous people on. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I believe it's, you have to buy it to see it, and then after a couple of weeks, it'll be a rental. So I think it's $9.99 on Amazon, which is pretty cheap if you want to own one of these movies nowadays. So it's streaming everywhere. I'm going to play a clip right here after we do roll call. Roll call, everybody. Marie Jose Sproul, welcome to the show. Coral Ann, welcome to the show. Felicia the Beautiful Flores, welcome to the show. Lisa M. Oh, I see what you did there with the red shirt, Cubs. Very cool, very nice. Gotta love a girl with hair. Welcome to the show. And Claude Aviles. Claude Aviles. Caleb Benjamin, welcome to the show. Everybody's putting hand claps and feet and all sorts of stuff. Member Dorothy Hawkins, welcome to the show. Member Brian Kegler, welcome to the show. Lunar Sparkles 1, welcome to the show. The Josh and Artemis Show, welcome to the show. Another visit from Crystal Cerasale. Italians always welcome. Good evening, Crystal, and welcome to the show. Reamer, welcome to the show. Reamer, everybody. So stupid. Ghost 8, welcome to the show. Member, Fernambulax, welcome to the show. Member, Sky Allen, welcome to the show. We have 30 members for Goof On already. 30! It's crazy. Rebecca the member, Rebecca Wiles, welcome to the show. Member, Paula Faust, welcome to the show. And let's see who's coming. Alfie Joe Bob, almost missed you, hanging out in the backyard there. Welcome to the show. Member, the Gorilla Gamer, welcome to the show. I'm 45. I'm sure you're with an older sister, right? At Coraline, doesn't matter. Just glad we're pals. Let's see who's in at the front door. John P. Adventures is here. Welcome to the show. Justin Kropa, welcome to the show. Brett S., welcome to the show. Mike Feather, welcome to the show. Mike Feather. Keep an eye on that one. No, I'm joking. Kimberly the thing jumped on me. Kimberly Markle Silva, welcome to the show. And Martin Wright, it jumped on me. Martin Wright, welcome to the show. And the 6 cents. That does round out with one more. H2F. Let's get going. If I didn't say, I cannot not. FAP, that's a cool logo. The Rams, good job. Welcome to the show. Randall Hill Sports speaks. I looked away. Welcome to the show. What a schmohawk I am. All right, now we're good. Now we're rounded out. If I didn't say hi, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we'll be here all night. So just know that we all care about. Hey, Nathan made it. There he is, sneaking through the door. Did it. Good. Got it. Great. You know what? Hold on. I got this ready up in the queue. I don't know why I shut the share off. I shut the share off, but I did not go to the other screen. I don't know why I did that. I had it all set up before the show. Maybe it does it on startup? Like I was already ready. All right, here we go. And a goosh. See, and I gotta take
But governments can't die. So we need to find other incentives for bureaucracy to adapt and improve. The technology revolution has transformed organizations across the private sector. But not ours, not fully, not yet. We are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Well, you don't just have 2, 3, 10 trillion dollars vanish. There's a whole system in place, and it comes from many different budgets. And then a big part of the funding comes from private endeavors. So it isn't just government, it's private and government together. So I call this a hybrid entity that's neither strictly government nor strictly private. And interestingly, from a secrecy point of view, as a private entity, corporate or citizen, penetrate these projects, it's top secret national security. Most of the work being done on this are private corporations, Northrop, Raytheon, the old E-Systems, EG&G, and they'll say, it's proprietary, you see? So if you come from the government, it's proprietary. If you come from corporate or civilian, it's top secret government. So they kind of wall it off, they play that game. It's like the Truman Show. If you look at that old show, Jim Carrey is playing this guy who his whole life is raised in this sort of fake set and wakes up one day and realizes my whole life has been this staged thing. So I think most people don't realize we're living in somebody's big Truman Show here. The controllers, I call them, who orchestrate these things. And so we kind of have to go, well, we need to have that Jim Carrey moment where we kind of wake up and realize, we've been in a crazy Truman Show here for 70 years since World War II. And get real. That's what we need to do.
We do. Are we living in a Truman Show? I think we are. I think what we're living in is kind of like a bunch of different things, like the game Risk, Sorry, Monopoly, and the game of life. Throw in chutes and ladders. Who cares? Go ahead, do that. Oh, if you want to help support the show, since we do survive on Super Chats, Super Stickers, donations through PayPal, Cash App, and all that other stuff, become a Patreon member, goof on, whatever. All the links are in the description of every show. So, I believe that everything is going as planned. Seriously. I think there are very strange things that happen because they're made to happen. I think everything is planned out. Pretty much. Heck, I don't know. There are accidents that could have been avoided, like shuttle, oil spills, things of that nature. But earthquakes, volcanoes, and violent weather, 2 out of those 3 may be related to mankind. But asteroids, things like that are uncontrollable, that's probably not in the script. But I think everything, like the way they release products and the way advertising works with subliminal messaging, the way they push laws through and allow things to happen. We saw it firsthand in real lifetime on the internet, seeing people looting and rioting when it should have been stopped. They let it happen. That's part of their script. They have their reasons to put the country in need of them, to make us want their help. We'll give up our rights. See, that's what Greer's talking about. We really don't have any rights as citizens. We think we do. We have the illusion of free will, I think. But life is what you make of it. I don't ever think about it unless I'm talking about it with somebody who brings it up. It doesn't rule my life. I'm not a prepper. I wish I was, because, that looks fun to me. I would love to be a prepper, but I'd be upset if nothing happened. I think if you start now as a prepper, I think you're doing yourself justice 20 years down the road. Maybe 5. Maybe 1. This is a really weird time we're living in. And that's why this movie has a big impact on your feelings, because it's talking about stuff now that's happening. I mean, the movie was just made 6 months ago, so it's not like it's out of touch with reality. But when you talk about UFOs at this time with COVID and the war, I think it would be a distraction. But disclosure could probably straighten out all of our problems overnight. But that's not what seems to be, doesn't ever seem to be the goal. Aliens is not their goal. Or is it? Why bring Lou Elizondo on mainstream media so heavy, so hard the last couple of years? Why do that and give a threat assessment on the UAP, huh? What was the purpose of all that? To get people to be interested in a bill that was signed away to get an office inside the Pentagon, inside the DOD. And we got nothing. They gave the illusion, and we got nothing. Then they gave us the office, still got nothing. Actually, got less than what they said we were going to get. Anyway, Greer's right. We're living in a Truman show because everything is controlled, aimed, pushed, taken away from us at will. We really are living in a Truman show. And that's the name of that clip, ironically. Martin Wright with a 10 pound, 10 quid. Spend it wisely, young men. You know what we do here? You know that? We really do. Thank you very much, Martin Wright. And that is the first super chat of the evening. I don't have the new ones yet, but they're coming. Thank you, Martin Wright, for 10 quid, 10 pounds. I'm spending it wisely all over the Truman Show. Mucho gusto, generoso. Under 17 up and without parent. Damn it. Let's get rid of that one. Thank you very much. Brian Kegler, right, good timing. Member Brian Kegler with a $20 super chat. Great movie, all aspects. Yes, it really pissed me off too. Thank you. It will. I have some more clips here I'm going to play, but Brian, thank you very much. $20 right there. Thank you for that. I guess you watched it. I think it's worth $10 for sure. It's pretty fucking good, man. I really liked it. It's getting good reviews. Brian? Good. Thank you, Brian Kegler, member Brian Kegler, for the great movie, all aspects. It did piss him off. So what a goosh. Mucho gusto, generoso. Thanks. I embarrass myself more than you think I do.
Some years ago, I was invited to go to an underground research facility in El Paso on the Mexican-American border. And this was a place where they were doing These sort of technologies that are transdimensional but medical applications, major stuff, technologies that literally, electromagnetic transdimensional technologies where they can, if someone had a missing limb, they can attach to the subtle body, the mystics call astral body, but that energy, like you have phantom pain, and regrow it. Here's the issue. The same technology that gives you that would give you free energy to run your house, because it's in that same, let's call it constellation of extraordinary technologies that they want to keep secret. So there are a lot of spin-offs beyond energy, propulsion, and the environment that will benefit humanity once we can get the first level of this out. Because it's unbelievable how backward even our medical technology is compared to what's possible. So that's also a very bit of good news. This is why I've called for sort of a Marshall Plan for the planet for new energy and the environment that is supported and funded by individuals in an open source way, and not expecting, I think it's silly to expect the government of the United States or any other government to get behind doing something that brings out the most disruptive technologies in the history of the human race. Let's be blunt. But it also creates a new civilization, and it saves our future. So if this had been introduced slowly from the early 20th century, 100 years ago, to now, we'd be okay. But now we've run out of time because of what's happening to the biosphere, geopolitically, population boom. So in order to create enough change quickly enough, we're going to have to do something very different, very fundamentally different than what we've been doing.
That is true. And that would be very interesting to see this technology be released to the public. This is what happens when we don't get what we should. But why? Why are they keeping this technology where you lose a limb and they connect it to you, and somehow, it works with just thought, or somehow reconnects? I don't remember what he said. But this type of technology is out there, according to Greer. And according to some scientists out there, they're able to do amazing things. I've seen these videos on YouTube where they make these claims and they show what these robots can do, or robotics, I should say. And you're like, wow, if they can do all that and they can attach it to us, who says we can't live to be 100 more years older? I don't know. What they need to do is to find a way to keep our hormones, to keep our levels up, and our molecular structure. What happens after we get a certain age? Men hit their peak at 19, 18 years old, and it's downward after that. Women hit their peak at their early 30s. It's a little weird, but it's a little off. They got that off, matching us up there, but there's a reason for that, I guess. I guess you want women to have babies older. That's true. This way you can keep the bloodline going of the human race. But you drop this new technology down, I guess the sky's the limit. They could somehow do it. My uncle, who lost his leg from the knee down from diabetes about 25, 30 years ago, and he gets phantom pains to this day. I go, oh, Uncle Tommy, what are you doing? He's like, I got to stand up and stretch my leg. I'm like, what kind of shit is this? What are you talking about? He goes, oh, I still get pains in my leg as if it was there. I go, so what are you standing for? And he goes, because it feels like I need to stretch it out. His whole life, he never lost the feeling that his leg is there. So when he walks, even with the fake leg, he says it feels like he's walking on the actual ground. He says, I'm happy for that, but I really wish I had my leg back. But he gets all these pains. I don't know why. He says it feels like the leg is dying. Is how he put it. It's very, very painful. And he says if I stand up and stretch it out, somehow it makes the pain go away for a minute. So we need this technology. They're hiding it from us. It makes you wonder how Corey Goode and David Wilcock even age a little with all their regression they've gone through, right? Those guys are like 105 if you add up all the times there and back, 60s and about 115. Not bad for 115, right? Except for Wilcock. Wilcock has a little bit of I don't know, he might be an alien after all. Wilcock. If he comes out with that flying car, he'll be a hero. Everything he did before that, don't care. He made the flying car. Prototype. That's coming out in December. Let's not forget that. We got to keep him on a short leash. You make a promise like that, young man. Like, who would buy a warehouse like that? He's friggin' dealing. The guy's it's a pot farm is what David Wilcock actually bought there. That's why there's not going to be any cameras. Gosh, all over Wilcock. 3-2. Next clip is called Shadow Government. Something like that. Above Top Secret came out today. We're going over a few clips that nobody's ever seen. And we're trying to talk about, what's going on in the movie. What's going on in reality. And how can this technology that's being hidden, why isn't it out there for us? I tell you why. Money. It's always about money. Imagine taking away all of those prescriptions they write and all the medications they prescribe. Is it prescribe or subscribe? It's like a subscription, right? You get it once a month. Oh, refill. That goes all over subscriptions. What am I doing? Let's play the next clip. Shadow government.
People think that the U.S. government builds stuff. They contract. It's called WFO, work for others. And in 1993, I was at the Wrigley Mansion in Phoenix. They wanted me to come to a meeting very late at night. He says, look, if you want to deal with this issue of these technologies, the UFO issue, you don't need to talk to the president, the CIA director. They don't know anything, and they're not going to know anything. You should be talking to people like us. We're the ones who are running the WFO. We're tied into certain, I'm quoting, orders of Jesuit priests that are working on the technology transfer. We have the supercomputers that back up the banking system, and where we can get a lot of money just from transactions where they're odd amounts. This sort of hybrid entity, partially covert, unacknowledged government programs, but a big part of that is then outsourced to big corporations, covert contractors, and other organizations. So that's kind of what developed in the post-World War II era, and it's how the operation runs.
Jesuit priests are working on a way. What? Hold on, I got to replay this. I got a little lost. I was daydreaming what he said the first time about the transfer of technology is in the works. You know, that's a very... Can I play that? I'm going to play this again. It's a really unbelievable clip if this is true. Because if that means they're already working on a solution to bring in all of this stuff, the new technology that's being hidden from us, which really is like disclosure. Technology that could really change the world, save lives, save money, save the planet. Isn't that what these schmucks are all about anyway? Save the planet. You know how huge Earth is? We're going through a flux right now. That's all. Just calm down. Ma! Flat Earther meatballs, quick!
Government builds stuff. They contract. It's called WFO, work for others. And in 1993, I was at the Wrigley Mansion in Phoenix. They wanted me to come to a meeting very late at night. He says, look, if you want to deal with this issue of these technologies, the UFO issue, you don't need to talk to the president, the CIA director. They don't know anything, and they're not going to know anything.
The president and the CIA director won't know anything. But they have to know to get this shit to go through, yeah? Do I not know what my government likes and dislikes then? They're just gonna not know about what's going on? I thought this sounded a little bit too unbelievable. Now, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this, but he is. I guess he is. I don't know. This is unreal.
The UFO issue, you don't need to talk to the president, the CIA director. They don't know anything, and they're not going to know anything. You should be talking to people like us. We're the ones who are running the WFO. We're tied into certain, I'm quoting, orders of Jesuit priests that are...
Hold on a second. What?
I'm quoting orders of Jesuit priests.
I'm quoting orders of Jesuit priests. Why is this not sinking in? What am I missing? What am I missing? How do the Jesuit priests fit in?
I'm quoting orders of Jesuit priests that are working on the technology transfer. We have the supercomputers at Bank.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I typed it in. Orders of Jesuit priests. We are a Society of Jesus, a Roman Catholic order of priests and brothers, founded half a millennium ago by the soldier-turned-mystic Ignatius Loyola. Huh? We are a Society of Jesus, a Roman Catholic order of priests and brothers, founded 500 years ago by the soldier-turned-mystic Ignatius Loyola, but most people call us the Jesuits. Jesus. Huh? Jesuit? What? Huh? What'd I say? In the vision of our Father, we find God in things. We dedicate ourselves to the greater glory of God and the good of all humanity. And we do so gratefully in collaboration with others who share our values, including laypersons like you and me. We're laymen people, layman persons. They have become part of the extended Jesuit family. With 16,000 plus priests, brothers, scholastic, and novices worldwide, novices, I know, we are the largest male religious order in the Catholic Church. We are pastors, teachers, and chaplains. We are also doctors, lawyers, and astronomers, among many other roles in church and society. In our varied ministries, we care for the whole person, body, mind, and soul, and especially in our education ministries, we seek to nurture men and women for others. Jesuits draw on the rich tradition of Ignatian spirituality and reflection. In our retreat centers, parishes, campus ministries, and other settings, we offer these resources to those who want to discern God's presence in their lives. At the same time, we also aim to be contemplative in action. People who bring the spirituality into the wide world. That includes our work on behalf of global justice, peace, and dialogue. I bring you the Jesuits. That's us, lay people. Huh? That's who they are. They care about you, me, everybody, the whole shebang. All right, let's listen to the rest. Now we know what he meant. Let's go back and relive that for the fifth time.
Quoting orders of Jesuit priests that are working on the technology transfer. We have the supercomputers that back up the banking system, and where we can get a lot of money just from transactions where they're odd amounts. This sort of hybrid entity, partially covert, unacknowledged government programs, but a big part of that is then outsourced to big corporations, covert contractors, and other organizations. So that's kind of what developed in the post-World War II era, and it's how the operation runs.
Pretty amazing stuff, man. A lot of covert stuff happening all the time in this field. Pretty much, it's the order of the Jesuit priests that are really taking the technology and intertwining it, figuring out how to make it work with what we have now. Ow. You know what I mean? Huh? Who's that? Get that out of there. Ow. Who are these people in the chat? Get them out of here. What am I seeing? Why am I seeing this? Is it gone? Did they go? Well, that's weird. It's not in my thing. How come it's on StreamYard? I see, even when you guys delete comments, I still see it on StreamYard on my chat. It sucks. Because it's like filling it up. Hey, Dark Hour, Paranormal's here. What do you say? How do you be? Yeah. Lee Guy's here. Love wins. Bob Birkins, you being nice? It's above top secret. The movie came out today. We're talking about it. I am going to bring some of the public in here and whoever. We've got one more clip here and then we're going to play the whole movie. I'm joking. I wish I could. I haven't seen it. Nope. Haven't seen the whole movie. I woke up at literally 5:30 today. Not a good day. Yeah, I woke up at 10:30, got ready. I said, 5 hours sleep, I could deal with that. Fell back to sleep. Didn't eat. I was hungry. I was getting ready to make bacon and eggs and then go out, work out, and do all that stuff. Fell asleep. Woke up, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock. I can't remember. I texted a few people. Fell back to sleep. Woke up at 5:30, 5-ish. I don't remember. Made the breakfast. Then I fell asleep again. Yeah, I had to catch up. I'm just telling you, if I seem a little out of normal, I don't know how you could tell. I could tell. That's why. Because I'm ready to go, man. My day just started. I mean, forget about it. So I want to welcome everybody to the show. It is the release of Above Top Secret today. And after I play this clip, I hope some of you made notes that are here. I will drop the link so you could join in the show. And maybe if you have seen it, I would really like your opinion on it. And if you haven't seen it and you can contribute to what I've been talking about tonight, what your thoughts are so far, that would also be welcome for discussion. So I'm going to play the last clip. It is the dark side of disclosure. I saved this one for last. It's only a minute and a half, but yeah. People don't think that what we do could be dangerous. It could be dangerous for a lot of reasons you're not even thinking of. I didn't think that I would ever be followed. A couple of times. I didn't think my house would ever be broken into. I didn't think that a movie crew would go in my drawers and my medicine cabinets and do other things that weren't welcome when they came out here. And we did the Discovery Channel thing. Wasn't real appreciative of that. Because they try to find out if you're on medication. I found out. Yeah, I got the whole scoop. I was very upset because I talked to one of the producers a year after. Yeah, it's a long story. I can't talk about it too much more. But that's why I say, if you ever have anybody over your house, don't have them over your house. That's the way it goes. Because if you have a great story, they're going to come in and you're not going to expect it because you're new to this, right? they're going to bring in some lighting guy, and then they'll bring in the sound guy, and then they'll bring in the guy who holds the boom, And then one of those people will go to the bathroom. And you'll be like, yeah, go right ahead. Not even thinking, oh, my prescriptions are in there. That one time I had that itch. That one time I had that really bad itch. And the burning. Remember the burning? And you've got these things in your medicine cabinet. And they're, everybody's going to love this. Nowadays, they just take a picture of everything. What's this stuff? Oh, wow. Penis enlarger. Jesus. Sorry to hear that, Mrs. Giordano. Crystal Sarasali, as I'm saying that, I see a beautiful face staring right back at me, happen to be female. What am I thinking? That's a $10 super chat. How do you become a member of the freaking iPhone? How do you become... Oh, what a great question. You can't. You need to log in on your iPhone. You have to actually go to this without using the app. You go to GoofOn on one of your browsers, like whatever you guys use over there. I forget. You have to use that or a desktop. Sorry. That's how you become a member. It's okay. I know, the iPhone is weird. If you want to become a member of GoofOn and you have an iPhone, you can't do it on your iPhone unless you go to the desktop app. Like for me, it's Samsung. Maybe for you, it would be something else. I don't know. I forget what the iPhone uses. But go to your browser. Go to GoofOn. I know what you're going to say, but if I go to the browser, it opens up the app. Yeah, I don't know. But it'll work. But thank you, Crystal, for the $10. Very good question. And you're a continuing supporter of GoofOn. Thank you, Crystal Sarasale. Italian. All right. $10 super chat. Hey, good. How do you become a member of an iPhone? Yeah. Mucho gusto. I don't know, so. I do. I told you. You got it right. Thank you, Crystal. I thought that was funny. All right, in 3, the name of this clip is The Dark Side of Disclosure. 2, 1, go. Good.
The cautionary tale. When Stan Meyer's collection of technologies were acquired by this other entity, and I said, whoever gets it, tell them they have to do it open source in front of the whole world. The whole world's going to be watching this technology being refined, developed, released, without any intellectual property pullback, without patent, because otherwise they're not going to survive their launch. I got this call a couple years later, who had ended up being the money behind that acquisition, and he says, these people are running for their lives. They are looking for an eco-friendly country that they can get to because they're being threatened in America. I said, you'd have to go to another star system. There's no place on this planet where the henchmen of these kind of Fourth Reich fascists won't find you. And they didn't want to let go of the greed and profit motive. They wanted to be the next Rockefellers of energy, you see. So that is the Achilles heel. Next thing I know, I meet with a guy in Orange County, California, who knew one of the people who was with that engineering team. And the man said this guy came in and was crying like a baby because every single one of them had been killed and the technology vanished.
Dark side. It's pretty bad. I never thought those things would ever happen. When my wife and I say my wife and I at the time, we were new to ufology, because of me. She was there, and sometimes I would show her stuff, and she would ground me and say, come on, don't be an idiot. You know what that is. All right. I was just seeing if I was wrong, and every now and then see something, record something, and post it or talk about it. some weird activity would happen. And when that ball of light came through the room that night, I mean, that chilled us like to the bone. She and I just sat there. Why we didn't get up and follow it around, into the bathroom and just sitting on the bed? Because you don't know what it is. You're frozen in fear. Even though our fear was quelled, as soon as we felt the fear come over us, we both said this afterwards. We were talking about it after the thing left. We're fine with it. I can't explain why. It's like we both were like, all right. It was like curiosity, man. It took over and no fear, really. Then as it left, the fear came back. It was like we were under some sort of technology hypnotism. But I remember that being like, that was unreal. That could have been an alien technology. But why? Why me, of all people? Why us, we thought. We're like, why is this happening to us? We never, ever thought, except for early on when I moved in and saw the ghost girl. She seen it. I saw it. The head came out of the clock dream, where I know I wasn't dreaming, I'm telling you. That it all started when we got together. When she and I became a couple. Shit happened. I wasn't having anything before. And really nothing after until recently. Till the Ouija board incident. But what happened? Why together did we create a signal together? Like both of our energy together created a vibration that was a beacon? Nobody ever talks about dual frequencies coming together. There's energy with people, especially when they're passionate and they're in love and they've got all of this energy in between them. Don't you think if they're in the same environment together, they might create some sort of super energy, super vibration that goes up into the sky or down below or I don't know. Whatever happened, it happened when we met. And when I say that, I mean it happened on a regular basis. Weird shit. And it was not just with me, it was with her too. She was scared to tell me a lot of things. As a matter of fact, I'd love to talk to her again and ask her if she remembered anything she never told me. Yeah. And it only happened when we were home together. It's weird. So if there's this kind of energy that can be created just from one person, why can't it be twice as strong with two people? If that's the case, and what Greer is doing right now as we speak with CE5, gathering up 100 people, 200, that all of that together creates some sort of energy, maybe it's possible to reach out and talk to aliens. Maybe it's possible your mind can actually move robotics, There are studies, there are tests, and there are definites that people can do that already with just thought alone. They can play chess, they can type. There's technology out there that they are hiding from us. For whatever reason, it sucks. I hate it. But the thing is, it always comes down to money. Money is it. And if they have this technology, they will kill for it. If you got it. If you got this technology and they don't want it to get out into the public, we saw what happened with the guy who made the water gasoline car thing. 20 gallons. You can go across the country on 20 gallons of water. That's the country. It's like 2,700 miles. Yeah. It's dangerous. If you have real evidence, if anybody's harboring any aliens, and I don't mean from Mexico, If anybody has any of that, you're not going to live. If you have alien technology and you're wielding it outside of your house and your neighbor sees you and records it, uploads it to YouTube, and everybody sees you with this magical type of technology, you're dead. You will die. And so will your family. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. I believe it. And that kid who recorded it and uploaded it, he's dead too. Just because he's an asshole. It's dangerous. I don't care what anybody says. That's why I know that a lot of you out there who send me emails and we get into these conversations about how your house is bugged, your phone is bugged, your laptop, your everything, all your technology's watching you, listening to you, recording you. It's not. They're not, and you're not. You would just be dead if you were that special and that dangerous that they gotta watch you. If they're watching you that way, if you think that the government's watching you from every angle because somebody told you something, or you think you're connected because you saw something you think you saw, you wouldn't be alive. You just wouldn't be. People who talk about this stuff, that claim they are being recorded, aren't being recorded, is what I'm saying. They're not watching you through your TV. Yes, they can do it, but they're not doing it to everybody. They're not doing it to you because you researched, on the dark web somewhere. Unless you can somehow find a way into the Pentagon's computers, then you might be in trouble. Gee, didn't that already happen? But this technology will never be ours until we're ready for it. I don't know, but Greer's been trying for a long time. So he says. He makes some real unbelievable claims that we never get any proof of. That kind of annoys me. But I want to know what the technology is. Why they can't. And I know I said it's always about money. But if you that's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, why would somebody go through the trouble of making the Georgia Guidestones where they say humanity can become one with Earth, symbiotic with the Earth, when the population is decreased to 500 million? That's 500 million. We have almost 8 billion now. So 7.5 billion people need to be wiped out, which is 92% of the Earth's population needs to be wiped out for us to be in a... That's a low number of people. But I tell you, it would be great, wouldn't it? God. Yeah, it would be amazing. Well, you could have all you want to eat crab again. That's a rarity nowadays. All you can eat buffets would be everywhere. There would be so much food, so much fresh water. It would just be for 500 million people. You wouldn't even have to have a neighbor for 1,000 miles. Build yourself a biodome. Live under the biodome. Well, the movie came out today. It's pretty good reviews that I've seen. They've all been good. I've seen a couple reviews that were not angry or anything, but just like they're expecting to see evidence, UFOs and stuff like that. There's UFOs in there. It's not, it's not a third phase of Moon episode. But I'll drop a link in just in case anybody wants to comment on the clips that I played. I will go back to the first clip. I will play it again. We could talk about it. I could have done that first, but I didn't really think I was going to have people join me until halfway through watching the clips. Click the, I'll put that up. Hold on. The link to join live show. All right, we'll put that in there. We'll pin it to the top. And then we will do this. Put a banner up that says, click the link, There we go. Join the show with the pinned link. If you have anything you want to say about the movie, I'll play the clip now. We'll start over from scratch. I'll play this again, and then we'll talk about it real quick. Oh, what did I do? That's the one where he's, Rumsfeld says, $2.3 trillion. It's missing everywhere. We are living the Truman Show. That's it. There we go. Right? Isn't it on? Oh.
So we need to find other incentives for bureaucracy to adapt and improve. The technology revolution has transformed organizations across the private sector. But not ours, not fully, not yet. We are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Well, you don't just have 2, 3, 10 trillion dollars vanish. There's a whole system in place, and it comes from many different budgets. And then a big part of the funding comes from private endeavors. So it isn't just government, it's private and government together. So I call this a hybrid entity that's neither strictly government nor strictly private. And interestingly, from a secrecy point of view, as a private entity, corporate or citizen, penetrate these projects, it's top secret national security. Most of the work being done on this are private corporations, Northrop, Raytheon, the old E-Systems, EG&G, and they'll say, it's proprietary, you see? So if you come from the government, it's proprietary. If you come from corporate or civilian, it's top secret government. So they kind of wall it off, they play that game. It's like the Truman Show. If you look at that old show, Jim Carrey is playing this guy who his whole life is raised in this sort of fake set and wakes up one day and realizes, my whole life has been this staged thing. So I think most people don't realize we're living in somebody's big Truman Show here. The controllers, I call them, who orchestrate these things. And so we kind of have to go, we need to have that Jim Carrey moment where we kind of wake up and realize, we've been in a crazy Truman Show here for 70 years since World War II. And get real. That's what we need to do.
But
that's what we need to do. Shut off, Rumsfeld. So our financial tracking systems lost $2.3 trillion. Then 9/11 happened. 2 days later? We lost a shitload of money. The buildings fell. And that's all we're going to watch for the next year. And that's it. I don't know what happened. Did they ever find that money? No. Because it went to where? Private sectors. It went out. Black budget projects. That's what everybody's afraid of. That's what I think Lou's afraid of. Don't you think? Lou. Everybody. That's the new thing. There's two new things that have popped up recently that are major conversations that aren't happening. One is that the government is paying these private corporations to build technology from reverse engineered or maybe newfound technology that they're reverse engineering, whatever you want to call it. And they come up with this technology and they don't want to hand it over to the government. They somehow sneak it out and keep it away from the government. And now this private corporation has the technology and the government doesn't know about it. Someday, somehow, that technology will be used back on us, or it could be used to start a war, or it could be used to start disclosure. So whoever has this technology can literally change the world, and that scares everybody in the government. All governments, it should. And we have somebody joining us here. Gorilla Gamer is here. What's up, GG?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking?
I watched so far about a third of the way through Above Top Secret. It's really good. It's I like the way they lay it out. With they tell you, they kind of remind you of things you forget. Like, I totally forgot about Stan Meyer and his electric car.
Oh, right, the water car, yeah.
Yeah, and how people who usually invent things usually die of mysterious causes, and he did. And it's and then they're kind of making a parallel to Elon Musk and his partner with PayPal and stuff like that. It's a lot of really neat ideas, but it's the way they lay it out so far is very well done, in my opinion. Greer so far it comes off like he might be promoting fear, just because he talks about the rich are the ones who benefit from the electric grid, right? So it's hard to feel any optimism, but as it's going on, you start to see that that's not the purpose of it, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I also liked how Greer makes sure and lets everybody know that all these great inventions, they're based on old designs, and how we're still using technology to get from New York to California from the 1940s till today. I mean, and he's like, stop and think about that for a minute. And he's thinking, Jesus, we haven't come up with anything since then, right? So it's definitely been worth the loot to watch it. It looks really good. It's in like ultra high def 4K, so I mean it's crisp. It's nice. The production value is just awesome. So you get a treat,
That's good.
And it feels like something fresh, not just old regurgitated everything you've been hearing for the past couple of years. This feels fresh. It feels new.
I don't know how far you said about a third, but I know that the last half of the movie, it really starts to get pretty interesting. Like, it's interesting the way it kicks off, but the way it ends is much better.
Yes.
So it's a nice little ride you go on. And I'm impressed with the other people. Good old, he always says the same stuff over and over, but I was impressed with Schratt, the way his thought process was. he thinks like we do, like I do. And
Exactly.
I didn't think he would. That really surprised me, how much he is against what is happening lately and wishes things were different. And I think because he knows in his heart that there's a lot of people out there with a lot of real stories and a lot of stuff that I'm sure he could tell that he isn't right now.
Right.
30 years in this field, he's met a lot of interesting people. But I'm glad he's in it. He brings a nice little nice energy to the film.
Yeah.
But you're. Go ahead.
No, and that's what I always think with Sherrod is, he tells the stories and he tells them in such a great way, but I always think, what isn't he telling us? You know, what are the stories that he hasn't told us yet? And you know that it's mind blowing shit right there, man.
So much.
I mean,
It's not even funny.
yeah, I agree.
Hey, the Sixth Sense is here.
Hey, what's
up,
up,
man?
guys? Hey,
Hey,
oh, look what Mary did.
I
Look
know.
what
I was
Mary
just
did.
gonna say, Mary Young Sliwa with $50. You know, she didn't even say anything or a sticker. She just shot it at us. $50, man. Mary, that is beautiful. Thank you for that $50 support. And as everybody knows, mucho gusto generoso. And I heard that's not even the right way to say it. So, Love Wins asked me if I've seen this. Thank you, Mary. God bless her, man. Have you seen Greer's movie? Yeah, of course I did.
You know, I wanted to make mention of, being that you have these, presidential representatives, presidents, and they say these type of things. Now, whenever you hear them throughout history, you look at Reagan, look at his wife was all into all that kind of woo-woo stuff too. So you got to think, look, it almost sounds prepared. I mean, are you going to say, could people make this out to be soft disclosure kind of thing? I mean, I don't see no real reason to do a soft disclosure. Just tell us. I mean, come on, we're in the electronic age here. Come on, we're all connected here.
But that's the point that Greer also says, as he says, we do not live in a high tech world. We are living in a world that is based on old tech, that like old.
Yeah, gasoline powered engines.
Sure.
Exactly. Still fossil fuels. Still. So nothing. We are not in high tech.
See,
and the ones that are the rich.
Well, that's it. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I'm sure that there's something better than. I'm positive there's something better than gasoline. And there already is
Water.
stuff that has potential to be better, but of course we won't see it until all the oil runs out in the whole country or in the world. I mean,
that's right. That's basically when. And then we'll go into crises, right? We cannot find oil. The cost of a barrel is $250. Right now, what is it? 110, 120. But when we start running out, then they're going to have to somehow integrate that technology. And according to Greer, he says that that they're already doing that. They're figuring out how to get that technology intertwined with this brand new technology.
I've listened to Greer over the years, and I'm not really into the consciousness thing. I suppose it's possible.
It's not even in the movie at all. It's not even in the movie. Yeah.
But I think he's spot on with what's happening in the world. I mean, the guy knows what's going on, and I really feel that he definitely knows more than we do, obviously, and more than he can say, or without getting Epstein or what,
I don't think so. I think he says it all because they've already tried to take him out once, right?
Apparently, yeah.
So I mean, according, allegedly by him.
And they offered him $2 billion to shush.
And he brings that up. He brings that up. He talks about it. So
I don't know if I could. Oops, I'm saying.
That's okay. Sixth Sense. Hold on one sec. Dorothy, thank you for chiming in. How are you?
Sure. I thought the movie was really excellent, and what really fried my cork or something was when I think it was Blake came on and talked about how mainstream media was showing fake UFO videos made with a UFO video app.
Right.
Yeah.
That they were being built into, thinking that, or, coerced or whatever, into showing that sort of fakery that's so obviously fake if anybody knows about this app.
But
I know this guy. He's a CGI artist, and he does fantastic work. He does work for like Lamborghinis, all those like super expensive cars. Well, he ended up having this video of this square clouds, right? So I go ahead and I said to myself, I said, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this. But what oh, okay, the guy's a CGI artist. Well, every single UFO channel picked up on, well, all the grifter ones, they picked up on it and promoted it as real. But they cut out, well, the vehicle and stuff and certain parts and stuff. Granted, it was excellent work. So I went ahead and I messaged the guy. And, I says, dude, these people are, at least give you credit, give you credit for your beautiful work. And he says, well, I wasn't aware that they were using my content for that type of stuff, so I'll have to put something in the disclaimer. Well, it turns out to be that they still were using it, so I contacted him. I says, dude, they're still doing this. He says, well, this was supposed to be a demonstration for John Lear, the one that just passed, and of how somebody could use just what Dorothy said, use an application to go ahead and fake something. And I got to say, it looked really good. And all of the copies that I've seen after were really, after something bangs around the internet for a while, it really gets cruddy, but it's probably intentionally cruddy. The thing is, the original was perfect. So he ended up taking it down eventually. So I was like, no, man, come on, keep it up. So I can show people that what they are showing you is total bullshit. But I just thought it was weird that he mentioned John Lear. I got the email to prove it. I'll
Yeah.
send you a copy if you want, man.
That's cool as hell, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I almost shit my pants, because
Yeah.
this guy is huge into the stuff. I mean, who does 3D CGI for Lamborghinis and I
Yeah.
can't even think of the crazy expensive vehicles. He does
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
work.
He
I'll
gets,
point to it. I'll point to his channel too, so you can look at his
yeah,
work.
definitely. He must be
Yeah.
good. I'd
Oh,
like to see that.
it's
And Mayor Pete,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait for
Mayor
you to
Pete.
show me.
Yeah.
But Mayor Pete saying, take Greer out for what? What has he done to forward ufology? 0.0. That's a
Oh,
Howard
that's a
Stern reference.
Yeah.
No
Really?
three-letter agency gives two Fs about Greer. We're talking 25 years ago, though, bro. Not today. He had his life threatened way back when, 97, 98. If I guess you don't know his story, go take a little bit of research up on Greer. Yeah, lately, what has he done? CE5, which people love and hate. So take it at, however you want. But that's where ufology is actually going, Mayor Pete and everybody. It is going to thought consciousness right now. So come along for the ride. We're going to be dipping into it here. Hell, we may even try it live on the show to see if shit can happen. You know what I mean? I want to play this next clip. We're all going to watch it. And it's about 2 minutes. I won't play the whole thing, but we'll get a good conversation. This one's called Future Technologies Already Exist. So check this out. It's the second clip I played today. And you don't have to mute. I got the echoing thing fixed. So if you guys hear, you don't have to really worry. All right, here we go. Hey, Guj.
Some years
Hey.
ago, I was invited to go to an underground research facility in El Paso on the Mexican-American border. And this was a place where they were doing these sort of technologies that are transdimensional, but medical applications, major stuff, technologies that literally, electromagnetic transdimensional technologies where they can, if someone had a missing limb, they can attach to the subtle body, the mystics call astral body, but that energy, like you have phantom pain, and regrow it. Here's the issue. The same technology that gives you that would give you free energy to run your house, because it's in that same, let's call it constellation of extraordinary technologies that they want to keep secret. So there are a lot of spin-offs beyond energy, propulsion, and the environment that will benefit humanity once we can get the first level of this out, because it's unbelievable
How is that possible that the same technologies can run your house and then also have a grow back an arm?
It's a different kind of physics.
But the technology that's making our house work can also be used to regrow a limb, is what he said, right? Did I hear that wrong?
I almost think it's.
No, you heard it right.
I almost think it sounds like nanotechnology, like nanobots, because they're always talking about putting them into your bloodstream, and not any saying this is just what they're saying, and helping you out and doing work that for people that need that type of stuff. I can't think of what it's called, but
He says it.
um,
He says that in there. He says it's
okay.
electromagnetic mixed with something else. It's in there.
Yeah.
Whenever it shows the body being scanned.
Yeah, resonance.
Major
Yeah,
stuff.
electromagnetic
Technologies,
resonance
literally.
scanner.
Electromagnetic transdimensional technologies.
Oh, there you go.
Electromagnetic transdimensional technology.
That's
Jesus,
it.
that's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember it. But yeah, that's what he's saying. And that same technology can be used to power houses or power whatever he's saying.
Nanotechnology is what I think they inject into you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes to work. It somehow knows what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a TV show called Timeless. I don't know if anybody's watched it.
Yeah.
And they used
Watch it.
nanotechnologies from the future to use to heal the body and everything. But I think that's a reality. I mean, it is a reality, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they really have that stuff. But
Yeah, they
Yes.
can make really tiny robots. Yeah, microscopic. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I don't, man, that's a trip. They're that small you can use a syringe and push it into your bloodstream. And the robots know what to do. I mean, that's ridiculous. You need something to make those tiny little things. I don't understand
Well,
it.
that's what they were talking about, and this is just theory, right? That those robots can make even smaller robots that can make even smaller robots, and then once you get down to the molecular level, I mean, that's as small as you can get. I'm looking up the transdimensional here now. It's speaking of the outside of our three-dimensional world as we know it. So I mean, that's getting into stuff that's really super hard to even comprehend, let alone explain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Storm Crow's asking, how about Greer show some proof? Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
A lot of talk goes into this, but you got to back it up someday. And has Greer ever backed anything up? Dorothy, you know Greer real well, I think, right? Or am I wrong on that?
Well, I know Greer from the original Disclosure Project because I was one of the transcriptionists on that. And
Oh wow!
Right.
so in terms of knowing the Disclosure Project, I know it fairly closely because I was transcribing the testimonies you see on the documentary into written form to be translated into many, many languages. So in terms of what Greer himself proved, I don't know that he was the one who proved things. He was the one who was the leader of that project, who brought all the witnesses forward.
Right.
And in the end, I mean, on the original documentary, they only showed 21 of the first 100 that they had, but they actually had over 400 witness testimonies, credible expert witnesses. And that's why I managed to, challenge Lou openly because of what I knew about this history of Greer with the Disclosure Project. All anybody knows about him now is his CE5 work, which kind of is on a par with Anjali and the, aliens in the mountain for some people. It's just like, oh, really? You're going to bring them here? Oh, sure. That kind of thing. And Anjali might have seen the aliens in the mountain and nobody else did, and it was a trans-dimensional experience. Who knows?
Yeah.
But in terms of what Greer and all these other witnesses brought forward, I have to trust that over 400 credible witnesses knew what they were talking about and were reporting accurately. They were breaking NDAs to do this stuff. We're
True.
either corporate or government. So
Guerrilla Gamer.
that's the proof.
Yeah.
That was the proof right there, and it was way back there in 2001.
Proof.
So many people who are challenging Greer on his face right now, they're not really looking into the history of what happened there.
Because, they weren't there. They were 5-10 years old. That's why.
Yeah, or 0 or 1.
Exactly. Yeah, I was being generous. Yeah.
It's a little confusing that he speaks of it, or the way that he spoke of it there. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is Elon Musk's Neuralink, right? But is he trying to say that there's a combination between Neuralink and some fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension?
He does get into this. Yeah, I can play the rest of it. Let's listen.
Okay.
And Moore's Socio said something really interesting. If the technology was, running our homes, I don't know if we'd have one like a miniature nuclear power plant next to our kitchen window, but it could be up the street or just a mile away, giving everybody energy. I wouldn't want that next to me either.
Well, what's your microwave oven?
Exactly.
Your
It is,
oven?
but it isn't. It's not a
Yeah, your phone.
a phone. Exactly. That's why you shouldn't fall asleep with it on your chest. Just put it underneath you. This way, I don't know what I'm trying to say. All right, here's the next. Continue on with Greer here.
Subtle body, the mystics call astral body, but that energy, like you have phantom pain, and regrow it. Here's the issue. The same technology that gives you that would give you free energy to run your house, because it's in that same, let's call it constellation of extraordinary technologies that they would want to keep secret. So there are a lot of spin-offs beyond energy, propulsion, and the environment that will benefit humanity once we can get the first level of this out, because it's unbelievable how backward even our medical technology is compared to what's possible. So that's also a very bit of good news. This is why I've called for sort of a Marshall Plan for the planet for new energy and the environment that is supported and funded by individuals in an open source way, and not expecting, I think it's silly to expect the government of the United States or any other government to get behind doing something that brings out the most disruptive technologies in the history of the human race. Let's be blunt. But it also creates a new civilization, and it saves our future. So if this had been introduced slowly from the early 20th century, 100 years ago, to now, we'd be okay. But now we've run out of time because of what's happening to the biosphere, geopolitically, population boom. So in order to create enough change quickly enough, we're going to have to do something very different, very fundamentally different than what we've been doing.
Anybody want to add a comment to that entire thing?
So to that guy who commented earlier about what is he done. Well, I mean, it sounds to me like that's a whole hell of a lot more than a lot of people do, or are trying to do. I mean, he's right. You can't take a medical system that doesn't want to fix you. It wants to prolong your problems by giving you pharmaceuticals that the pharmaceutical companies make billions off of, and there's no money in fixing you. There's no money in fixing you indefinitely, right?
Right.
So you can't just change that paradigm overnight. It doesn't work that way. Doctors that's how they're trained now. And these are guys who know that, they're supposed to know better. But they're locked behind a wall of the pharmaceutical companies and keeping you sick.
Right. It isn't profitable to just fix you once and for all.
Well,
So
why would
that kind of reminds me of the way that they're dealing with the oil. It's not profitable to just go ahead and get rid of it. Get rid of it, or at least minimize it to some extent.
But somebody has to start, and that person won't get their just due.
How do you start it though without getting pushback?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think you have to go after the whole system. You can't necessarily go after just one part of it.
But that's like marching to the Pentagon and knocking on their door and demanding you want changes. It's not going to happen as one human. But a person who has a media outlet like Greer, who has the ability to reach possibly millions of people or more, that is way better than going and marching and knocking on a door. So I do see him as doing things. And
right, and it's got to go way beyond just our own country, too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, and he says that 48% of the country doesn't have it doesn't have plumbing. So that tells you alone that
I kind of wonder that the newer stuff. I mean, obviously, the current things that are going on is current. But I'm kind of wondering if he's talking about this transdimensional stuff, if it's work in progress, or is it a past tense or future tense type thing? I mean, is this what they're looking to do, or is this what they have already done?
Well, I think it's already been done. He's looking to bring it out into the mainstream, and just like what Mayor Pete says again in his brilliance, you won't be able to question somebody's personal experience, whether it's CE5 or I step outside and see something in the sky. You're going to question my reality, then I'll question yours, Mayor Pete. What have you done?
Well, also, Mayor Pete, CE5 isn't even a thing of topic in this movie.
No.
It's all about things that are provable and will be provable, according to Greer and the other people in the movie. You've got Goodall, Schratt, and a couple others in there. I can't think of. I'm going to get killed. But we understand what you're saying. But if you take away the CE5, everything else Greer has done has been positive. No negatives like other people.
And even CE5 isn't. I don't see a negative connotation to it. It's
there really
choice.
Isn't. It's a choice.
No, yeah. If you want to do it, you do it. He's not holding a gun to your head.
Until recently. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just going to say, but that has that's not in the flick. So
I agree. Other than the CE5 stuff, I think that he speaks pretty reasonable. Or realistic. I guess that's probably a better word. Because we're experiencing this stuff right now. We can confirm that this is going on. And I'm not so much of a woo person. It could be and it could not be. I don't know. I got no way to prove it.
Well, I've already said all this stuff before. Mayor Pete, you need to watch more Goof On. I have never seen proof that he has briefed presidents, but I know that he thinks he has. I mean, he does write briefings, and they're given to the people who are supposed to give it to the president. So I don't know if the president ever received it, is what I've said before. But, if you take him at face value, then he's done that, and nobody else is really doing that. And then he says, come on, man, there's enough out there to debunk this, not trying to be negative. No, we're on the same page. We're not feeling you're being negative. It's stuff that really isn't relative for tonight's release of the movie because it's not talking about CE5. We're talking about what's in the movie.
He mentioned free energy, which I'm not really a fan of, and physics isn't a fan of. And I do find that a little bit disturbing. But I'm really into like anything electromagnetic. I got a really good understanding of what's actually really going on. So it's hard for me to even picture that that's even a reality. Although the thing is, hey, maybe there's ways to do things with electromagnetism that does some really, really magical. What's he say? Magical, crazy shit or something?
Weird science and freaking magic.
Exactly like that. Yeah,
that's a good term. All right, I'm going to play the next clip here, which is just over a minute. This one is called The Shadow Government. Well, we know where this is going already, but I'll play it just because it's a minute and we could talk about it in 3, 2. No, let's do this. Hold on. Wrong. Go.
People think that the U.S. government builds stuff. They contract. It's called WFO, work for others. And in 1993, I was at the Wrigley Mansion in Phoenix. They wanted me to come to a meeting very late at night. He says, look, if you want to deal with this issue of these technologies, the UFO issue, you don't need to talk to the president, the CIA director. They don't know anything, and they're not going to know anything. You should be talking to people like us. We're the ones who are running the WFO. We're tied into certain, I'm quoting, orders of Jesuit priests that are working on the technology transfer. We have the supercomputers that back up the banking system, and where we can get a lot of money just from transactions where they're odd amounts. This sort of hybrid entity, partially covert, unacknowledged government programs, but a big part of that is then outsourced to big corporations, covert contractors, and other organizations. So that's kind of what developed in the post-World War II era, and it still is how the operation runs.
And with that being said, what does he mean by the Jesuit priests are working on connecting the technologies together? Anybody?
Yeah. I was wondering why he quoted that.
Yeah, could he be meaning, it in so many words rather than like taking it literally? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a strange quote.
Yeah.
Because it was a really grandiose idea, but then he says, but that was quoted by a Jesuit.
Well, look what we have here now, right? We got the internet. I mean, who originally designed that and ran it was the government. So could he be speaking of, let's say, the internet? I mean, look at the news. It's just who can trust any of it anymore? I mean, that's why you got to have people like Rich here, because who can believe any of that stuff?
The nuns are working on time travel.
I like that.
I know that Daniel Sheehan was working for the Jesuits, so I wonder if Sheehan's involvement has to do with the Jesuits.
The Jesuit priests know about the universal energy. Yeah. That's where we're heading. I'm telling you. Don't you believe it?
Does that have to do with the consciousness stuff?
Yeah,
that he's speaking of? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it does, yeah.
Yeah, it seems
because that's where it's all heading. That's where everybody wants us to believe. That's where we're heading with this technology. I think we're freaking far away from it. Like before it works really well. They may get it out here and there, but like on video games and stuff first. I don't know.
But I mean, as long as you still see, plans for a 2024 gas guzzling, vehicle, you can, that should tell you right there. So,
and this might be slightly off topic, but now that you speak of that, I mean, he's speaking of oil anyways, but I seen something in the news the other day, and I really don't believe it, by the way, was that Biden wants to go ahead and pass something that says you need to get rid of all your gas guzzling cars and turn to electric by 2036 or something like that.
Yeah.
The thing is look, wait a minute. If you guys are all into oil, what are you gonna do when it's all electric and people are charging it via solar or water or something other than oil? I just thought it was conflicting.
What do you wait? Why? Well, if you can't get rid of it all, because you're going to need it to make that equipment anyway, right?
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was conflicting, and I just thought it was weird.
There's too much. Oh, so what happens when this?
I'm surprised that the gas and oil companies can't make the adjustment to go into the new energy ways and convert what they do now into the better ways of the future. I don't understand why they can't be the ones that bring it all to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even if we got universal health care, the people who work in insurance industries now would probably still be doing similar work, just processing all the different, people who need the insurance and all that kind of thing.
Well, look at what our rockets use. It's conventional fuel. I mean, this is stuff we've used for forever. I mean, with the exception to the hydrogen and stuff like that.
What?
I don't know, man. Those SpaceX ones look pretty crazy whenever they get up there.
When they get up there.
But the thing is, to transfer this, and you do this technology, let's say you start in the United States. All right, we get this technology first because we discovered it. Maybe that's how it happens. I don't know. But imagine how expensive it is to do here. But now the other countries, like we don't need oil anymore. Let's just say we don't need but maybe 1/10 of what we needed before. So now we have all this extra oil that the rest of the world is going to want. So we're still, because we're not going to make the whole entire world into this new technology, would we go to Afghanistan or Iran or Egypt and start putting this new technology into old structures? I don't know how it would work, but it's going to be super expensive. So who's going to pay for it all? That's what I want to know.
Okay,
Are those
it
other
shows.
countries going to be able to pay for it, or do we give it to them for free?
Okay, it shows 43.8 billion barrels in reserves. Now, I don't know what that deal was that Biden passed the other day there. 1 million barrels a day, so it'll take a while to deplete that. But
Yeah, yes and no. What? 10 years? That's it.
quite yet. Well, you're right, right. But still, I mean, hopefully we can get out of it before then. But
But if we have this technology and it's all throughout North America, we'll even throw in Mexico, we'll say there. But the rest of the world doesn't get it. But, that would make us look like the super dick power, more dick than we are now. I don't know, man. I don't know.
you know,
It would have to go worldwide at the same time, like Greer was saying, if we could all do it at once, but you can't.
Well, what about what did Tesla made those Wardenclyffe towers?
Yeah.
That really wasn't a bad idea had it been funded correctly. It was only funded by Westinghouse. I mean, if that would have been that technology used today, that would be like free energy.
well, you lose a lot, transmitting through the air. It's not a very
But
good medium.
but if you have a bunch of them, I mean, back then there wasn't an industry to build those big things. But I mean, what's the difference between that and say maybe like a 5G setup? I mean, it's
Well,
those are everywhere.
look what the government did. They went the other way. They said, "Screw you," and then what does he do? He gets all pissed. He starts acting mentally crazy, insane, and then they just not they just claimed that he was just insane, and really none of that stuff would have worked, and that's unfortunate. I mean, granted, I think the guy was he was a genius. I think I mean, he obviously knew electricity very, very well.
Well,
What was it?
yeah.
Was it efficient? Not in my eyes, but could they make it more efficient? Sure.
Probably, yeah.
Like narrow it down into like an electromagnetic ray rather than just splashing it in all directions.
It seems dangerous.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sure they got weapons that do that. They'll take your car out with it.
Right. And
Yeah.
what about flying animals, birds and stuff, and that I don't know, man. That was an interesting technology, though, that's for sure. But how
Yeah,
much better? I don't think it would have been
it was
better.
it was built in 1901.
Wow, isn't
you
that
know,
crazy?
Yeah. So I mean, it was from 1901 to 1902, and it was built in Long Island, New York, and I think they made another one. There was two of them made, so it didn't even have time to really test it because
Yeah,
it was
no.
so expensive. Yeah.
Well, yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All your plastics are made from oil. Chris is right, and the world uses plastic everywhere. We're never going to get rid of it unless unless that technology can make plastic bottles, which it should. It can do it all. It can make a person. It can make a plastic bottle, right?
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. All right, let's play the last clip here. This last one is 2 minutes, but this is one of my favorite ones because it scares me. It's a minute and a half. The dark side of disclosure. People die for this stuff. Real people with real... I just stopped sharing it like a schmohawk. All right, hold on. There we go, Richie. Dark side of technology. In 3, 2, gosh.
Cautionary tale. When Stan Meyer's collection of technologies
Stan Romanek?
were acquired by this other entity, and I said, whoever gets it, tell them they have to do it open source in front of the whole world. The whole world's going to be watching this technology being refined, developed, released, without any intellectual property pullback, without patent, because otherwise they're not going to survive their launch.
I'm stopping it right there for good reason. David Wilcox should be doing it this way. If he really is going to bring a flying car, he should have all of this for us to see as it's being done. This way he's safe. But he's not doing it. That's what I guess third phase of Moon was saying. He should be keeping it open source. But then I guess they're afraid people would steal the technology. How? If you have it behind, certain places that they can't see it in the camera, but...
Yeah, it doesn't have to see everything.
Right.
But Jesus.
But that's why I don't think David Wilcox doing anything unique. I don't think he's doing anything at all. I just think he bought a warehouse to grow weed in. That's just me. He's going to be like, the flying cars underneath all those green trees. Yeah. All right, here we go. Back to normal. And where are we here?
I got this call a couple years later who had ended up being the money behind that acquisition. And he says, these people are running for their lives. They are looking for an eco-friendly country that they can get to because they're being threatened in America. I said, you'd have to go to another star system. There's no place on this planet where the henchmen of these kind of Fourth Reich fascists won't find you. And they didn't want to let go of the greed and profit motive. They wanted to be the next Rockefellers of energy, you see. So that is the Achilles heel. Next thing I know, I meet with a guy in Orange County, California, who knew one of the people who was with that engineering team. And the man said this guy came in, was crying like a baby because every single one of them had been killed.
Yeah, stories.
Yeah.
Where's the proof of that one? Show me that story.
That's a tall tale.
Didn't David Wilcox say that? Every day of his life he fears that it might be the last one. I'm sure there's quite a few of them that's done that same thing, and
yeah, I have that fear every day.
They're going to kill you because you got an empty warehouse. Okay, yeah, well, it's got a bathroom though. They might want to find a reason to do you in because of that. I mean, that's just yeah. You gotta offer up something. That's why I don't like anonymous sources. And the thing is with open source, look, we got open source Linux operating systems. Why is still 80% of the world, well, it's probably not that now, so much of the world still using Windows? Well, and then you got Android, you got the phones and stuff, and and that's open source. The thing with open source is everybody can look at it, see how it works, and if they say it's safe, they can check it. Just the same as if Wilcox says he can make that damn thing float. Well, show us the open source and we'll check it ourselves to make sure. And I don't really see a problem with sharing that with everybody. If somebody steals it, who cares? The whole world will benefit. I mean, how can they not?
Yeah, but not Wilcox. It's all about Wilcox.
Yeah,
guys, it's true.
Everybody needs more Wilcox.
Dr. Greer is going live with the new top secret military whistleblower right after GoofOn. He's already got 213 people waiting.
Of course.
So I can't believe this is happening today during the release of the movie he's in. Top secret military whistleblower, information on retrieval of ET and man-made UFOs.
Woohoo!
I know. Oh,
what is
God,
going
I can't
on?
wait to see that. That's going to be fun. I'm going to be a fly on... Oh, wait, we got somebody else coming in here. It's Fernambulax. What's up?
Fernambulax.
Hey, you pronounced it right.
For once, yeah, right.
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about all you?
Hey,
Good,
doing
good.
great.
Oh,
Good
wow.
to see you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. What's going on?
I just want to take my take on this. I love all the community. But I watch cult behaviors. And like among a lot of cults, it's always based on a point source of information. Like you're relying on just the government.
Mm-hmm.
You're relying on just Wayne. You're relying on just this. And that when there's so many sources of information available to people nowadays, why people pick a point source and go off on that point source?
Yeah.
I hear you.
I know. It's kind of like wondering why people pick their political association, you know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
isn't that what the government's doing? You know, having people rely on them because guess what? When they're not doing anything, people are like, "What are we supposed to be doing?" The government's supposed to be helping us on this. You know, is that part of the reason why you have a government? I mean, obviously they're not doing much.
If,
What are we paying these guys for?
if we're just relying on the government, when there's so many people with cameras and sources and stuff like that, if we just rely on one thing all the time and you pick your sides and you go with that.
Well, isn't that what the answer to that? The Galileo, I can't even say it. The Galileo project.
I was just going to say that.
There you go. Okay.
I didn't even consider that when I said it, but that just seems like there was some rock that went through the solar system, and the people are reporting it as to being like some kind of super machine. When to all extent and views of it, it was a rock that was long.
Oumuamua.
Well, Oumuamua did something that no other rock should be doing, and that's accelerate at the wrong time and decelerate at the wrong time. It just had opposite properties that seemed weird. So people were like, Avi Loeb thinks it might be in, one of those, I don't know, interstellar aliens. I don't think so either.
A wind sail or a solar sail, whatever that's
But
called.
there was no sail we could see, but
I
that's what bothers me. Huh?
I did something on that a couple years back about Avi Loeb. Speaking of that, and guess what Avi Loeb was invested in? Wind sail technology. Well, or for solar sail technology. I did a video on it. I took it down since then, but the thing is that he was definitely associated with the solar sail company, and I thought, well, it's kind of a conflict of interest, isn't it?
That is interesting.
That's his business interest.
I'll show it to you one of these days.
Well, the thing I'm worried about, and we were talking about this at the beginning of the conversation with Fernambulax, we were saying how, if it goes into these corporations, that is supposed to be for the public, it seems like the government always puts themselves inside of those.
Yeah.
Somehow infiltrates, like, Mellon and Elizondo going into the Galileo project, which, if they find anything, they're going to squash it, I think. That's what I think. But they'll never find anything anyway in there, so we'll never know.
A corporation is only interested in its own self-interest. I'm a CPA.
Oh, yeah?
That's all a corporation does. It's stock value. It's dedicated to its stockholders to increase its stock value. That's what a corporation is. It's a bunch of papers that can act as a human being. It could sue. It could be sued. It could interact. And that's what a corporation is. It's a fictitious person.
Sure.
By definition.
It is. Yeah, right.
Yeah, an entity. Yeah.
I was just going to say that again.
Damn it.
Damn, that is weird. That is really weird.
And we're worried about the aliens up in the sky.
What aliens? I want to see something that's aliens. I want to see a UFO. Really,
yeah.
I mean, other than the dots.
Don't we all, Rich?
Just dots, man. That's all I've ever captured were dots and blurry shit.
That's unfortunate because we got technology today that should be able to at least capture something somehow. Even if it's just a film. I mean, or a video. Yeah, I'd rather have the real pieces myself, but
So, how about what's going to happen in May on the 27, 28, 29, the Utah Symposium? They're going to be dropping those 4 UAPs, which, from what I heard, they're supposed to be spectacular, but it's going to be shit. It's FLIR videos.
You know what? When I heard symposium, I automatically thought of the pillow guy, and that was just the thing is I'm pretty damn good with computers, and I'm listening to these guys, and I'm like, they don't even know what they're talking about. They're just talking nonsense, and that just the symposium the word symposium just brings that back. It was horrible.
But I don't like that they're putting it out there because of the money. Whenever they get their money from the symposium, then they're going to release very short clips of that. Now, the guy Andy, who has the clips, was supposed to be on the Josh and Artemis show the last 2 Saturdays, but next Saturday he'll be on again, hopefully, to explain a few things that he hasn't explained. Dorothy somehow tapped out again. I think she's having a bad connection. And people in the chat room, be nice. I see the word bitches in chat room. Let's stop that nonsense. This is goof on. This isn't some other place. Well, it is. I don't know. I'm trying to be nice. Jimmy Church. Yeah, that's who I was going to say. Jimmy Church Show. Damn it. And I was going to say something else, but Greer's got this coming up in 10 minutes. So I think we're going to tap out of here. So I want to thank anybody. Have any last words?
All right. I'm just going to say bye here. Fern, nice to see you. I don't really recognize you or know you, but I can't say your name. I'm not even going to try.
Fernambulax.
Yeah, it sounds easy for man. I can't do it.
Took me a few
Gorilla
minutes.
Gamer, nice to meet you.
Hey, buddy. Good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I think
thanks.
that this type of conversation is what's really needed. You need to talk this stuff out like adults, and not like high school children, like some of the people I've seen. All right, buddies, I'll catch you later.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out. 6 cents, everybody. All right, and then Gorilla Gamer.
I'll head out next. Hey,
All right.
Fernambulax, it's good to see you. Rich, always good to see you, my friend.
Always good. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Anytime, Chief. I'll see you. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah, keep sending me those clips too.
Hey, all day.
Some good, some good, some crazy.
Hey,
I can't play on the show, but I like the options I have.
Yeah, it's like a shotgun.
Yeah, so I love it. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Take care.
See ya.
Fernambulax, thank you very much. Nice
Thank
meeting you.
I just want to mention, when you fix one point of view and you're just going to follow that one point of view, it's hard to really stay with you. And I love the whole community, but just when you pick, one or the other and just stay with it, look at all the sides of the argument.
Well, wait, don't go anywhere. What do you mean by that?
Well, I just see about it when, that we're relying on just the government or just Wayne or just this and just that, there's so many other sources of information out there available to us now, when you could look at it and make your own opinion, which you seem to do a lot of times, Rich.
Hey, if you could help me expand, I would love it. I just can't find any other sources that, if you want to email me some, I'd be willing to learn, my friend, because I'm always looking for new stuff and other sources. So if you want to, send me some things you think I would want to talk about here on the show, or sources I could learn from. I'm always open to a new opinion. So
you are great. And I just got some followers from Titusville to watch your show tonight.
Oh, thanks. Hey, I appreciate that. Titusville, of course.
I tried to fix you with the camera, and I gave a thing where you could probably have a piece of paper with the test screen on it to get the focus issue out. But we're rooting for you.
Well, I appreciate it. I see you here every now and then, so I know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
I'm going to click the leave.
All right. Take care.
Take care, bro.
Bye-bye. Fernambulax. That was awesome. Good. I don't know where else to go get the information. As a matter of fact, a lot of you contribute to the show. I try to remember who sends me what and say it during the show, but I could do better at that. But there's only so many places that I could go to. I don't know where else to go. I don't know where else I could go to get UFO information. I know where to get technology information. I know where to get NASA information, Mars, Moon. We don't really do a lot of flat Earth here. We have, but if anybody has any sources that they think I would like that has good UFO information or abduction, anything in this field, send it to goofonradio@gmail.com. I'd be happy to expand my horizons. I'm definitely not one to shy away from something new. Send evidence here too as well to goofonradio@gmail.com. No dots. That's all I ask. No dots. So in about 8-9 minutes, Greer's going to have a whistleblower on his channel. So we're heading out of here a little bit early. But I want to thank everybody who came over tonight. I hope you got to see a little bit of Above Top Secret. That movie just came out today from Third Phase of Moon, the Cousins brothers, Dr. Greer, Michael Schratt, John D'Souza, Jim Goodall, Greer, and Billy Carson, who's behind me. are all in the movie. So go check it out. It's on all streaming services for $10 on. Can't rent it yet, but you can get it on Amazon. You can go to Vimeo and get it. But thank you, moderators, super chatters. I did not check any messages that came in tonight, so let me double check real quick. Thank you for saying that compliment, my secret friend. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Moderators, super chatters, awesome night. Don't forget you could join Goof On. The join button is, on the channel here. You can still support the show through PayPal, Cash App, become a patron member as well, or buy a coffee, buy a nos. Denbub on the outside. Member Denbub giving out a $7 super chat right at the end of the show. Thank you, Denbub, with a Canadian $7 member donation package. All over ufology. Mucho gusto, generoso. And thank you, Denbub, a supporter for a long time. And thank you, newcomers, and I almost said moderator, newcomers and veterans. Thank you very much for giving the show a chance. Like I said, give the show 2-3 nights if you like it. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, share, and spread its wings. And don't forget, we need 50 comments and 200 thumbs ups. We'll be back tomorrow night with something interesting, I'm sure. I'm not going to make any more promises. It'll be a good one, though, tomorrow. I have a feeling it's going to be a really good one tomorrow. We are Truthology for ufology. Aren't we? Or we're still doing that, right? Yeah, that's forever. Yeah, Goof On is Truthology for ufology. Get out of here. Have a good night.
There's a good thing. It's rotating.
What was in the skies over? And why did it downward treasured sites in Christianity?
There's a new data study that's out there making proof for not
Crash retrievals are truth, then all bets are off.
It's very hard for people to get their minds around where the real power is. And it's not at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The reality is something much more stark.
They've been working on this for 60, 70, perhaps 80 years.
The reason why the government is talking about these UFOs now, they're getting ready for the next level of war.
Are these objects a national security concern?
They're proffering a narrative of a national security threat that doesn't exist.
I call them alien reproduction vehicles. They're made by private corporations somewhere on this planet.
Technology from Roswell from 1947 has largely been held back from us.
Portal technology, teleportation, whatever you can imagine, it's already been done.
The biggest secrets are not the zero-point energy and electrogravitics. It's the science of consciousness. All their communication systems are moving through the consciousness field and are thought actuated. The people at the CIA call it WSFM, weird science and frickin' magic. The transdimensional interstellar technology will benefit humanity.
There has been tremendous disinformation.
The media is keeping secrets with the government.
These are lethal, vicious people. And I'm focused on exposing the extraordinary technologies that they want to keep secret. No aspect of life on Earth will be unaffected by it.